Hello everybody, this is HG Shaves here. I'm back with another video. Hope this finds you well and in good spirits. So, I'm going to be getting rid of this Movember mustache today. I was kind of waiting to do so. Obviously, it's well past December 1st now, but I was inspired by a friend who's been doing kind of weekly Italian-themed shaves. I never joined him in those, but when I thought about the stuff I had, I thought, well, I could maybe do a convincing Italian shave. So, let's jump right in and let's talk about the gear. For the razor, we'll be using the Fatip Piccolo, which you call it Piccolo because this is the full handle, not hollowed out, which that handle was called the Grande. And this is a V1 head, which was made before, I want to say the year is 2017. And that makes it a little bit more aggressive. Basically, I did a blind comparison video where I used this V1 and a V2, and I couldn't tell much difference between the two, and people thought that I had faulty equipment or something because I didn't have a strong opinion about one or the other. But anyway, we'll be using this razor, and we're going to load up the razor with a Bolzano. So this is the only Italian blade I really know of, except now these are made in Germany. I don't know how long they've been made in Germany, but you know, there are other blades like that too, like the Wilkinson swords, which used to always be made in England, are now also made in Germany. So, you know, sometimes it makes more sense to move production, I suppose. And these blades, I've heard, are kind of polarizing, let's say. Some people really don't like them, whereas there are other blades that are kind of more like, yeah, they're fine, you know. But then I also know people who really love these blades too. So I went and picked these up actually at my local shaving store, which is Mert's Apothecary here in Chicago. Online, their shop is known as Small Flower. Perhaps you've made an order from Small Flower before and didn't realize that you were ordering from Mert's here in Chicago. They've been around for a while, and it's pretty crazy that I can drive 5 minutes and look at a bunch of shaving stuff in person. So here is the Bolzano. It says Supernux Bolzano. I'm just gonna load the razor here, and the only thing you have to worry about with these Fatips is just the blade alignment when you're loading the razor. They can be a little finicky, so I just kind of lined it up to what I think looks decent, and let's see how it did at lining up the blade. Looks pretty good to me. Regarding the Fatip quality control issues, I've heard that they've gotten better in recent years, so whatever that's worth to you. So that's the razor. For the soap, we're going to be using Abbate Mantia Monet. I think I maybe only used this on camera once. This is not the most recent base, I think this is the one before that, and it has a unique look to the soap. That's the saffron and rose hip extract, I believe, that makes it that, you know, the way it looks. And this is a beautiful water lily kind of floral scent. There's a lot going on in there. I can't quite pick out everything, but if you like florals, I would recommend that you try this soap. A really beautiful, beautiful scent. And yes, of course, their soaps are vegetal bases, and with each one they put out, they seem to focus some kind of other particular ingredient that they want to add to that soap base. We'll be using Cubebe Splash at the end, and for the brush, let me just get some water out of it. But we're actually going to do kind of a Marco method today. We're going to be using the Zenith bore, BO3-A26, and let's just shake out a little water, and then let's go straight into the soap. Because if I remember correctly, the Marco method was originally meant to be used on Italian soft soaps. So has there ever been a better time to do this method than right now? So it's pretty sloshy in there, so I'm going to turn the tub upside down so that some of that excess water comes out. This is definitely a very messy way of doing things, but I just want to get a bunch of lather going here, and we'll see how it lands up. So it's pretty foamy out of the tub, and you know, sometimes it's fun to just go crazy, load from the tub with reckless abandon, and also to load with a sopping wet brush. 2 more seconds, and then let's try to scoop up some of this. This may totally not work. I haven't used this soap in some time, and maybe this wasn't my best move, but you know what? You gotta go a little crazy sometimes. The scent is not too strong. I think there's a little bit of citrus in there as well, so it's kind of floral and citrus. A pretty sweet scent overall, but not like a savory sweet kind of thing. You know, it's more, well, florals and citrus, right? Okay, let's see how this comes together. Beautiful feel on this brush. Pretty well broken in at this point. Don't think it's going to change too much, but never say never. Definitely have kind of a foamy deal here to start, but let's see if we can't just work it around. And I got to remember that I need to work on the mustache too. Okay, maybe I was able to save this lather. I'm not totally convinced, but I think it's going to be fine. Again, it's fun sometimes just to go a little wild. So here we go. We've got the Fatip Piccolo with the Bolzano. Let's see how it does. Definitely some blade feel. We're dealing with 2 days growth. Other than the mustache, of course. Ooh, yeah, you can definitely feel that blade, but I think if you keep the angle, it's okay. I used this razor maybe a week or two. When was that? Actually, that was last year, almost 1 year ago, because I remember I picked this up from my friend as like a modified Black Friday kind of purchase. I didn't have anything I wanted to buy from the retailers especially, and so I said, you know, I'm looking kind of for a aggressive razor, and he said, well, I've got this old Fatip. Do you want that? And I said, sure, why not? This one seemed to be a good blade razor pairing. And let's go for the stash now. Maybe let's try to get a little more foam up there, because it is quite foamy today. But again, what are you gonna do? All right, here we go. Didn't really tug too much. And I am using a bowl in the sink today so that all this stuff doesn't just go down the drain. Man, that's incredible. I mean, just like that, and it's gone. I mean, I know this might seem like nothing to you all, but last year when I did the mustache shave off, I had something went wrong with the video, and so I could never upload it. And wow, yeah, that's pretty amazing. All right, so again, we got foam going everywhere. I'm gonna clean up this mess a little bit and then I'll come back in for pass number 2 in just a moment. Pass number 2 with the Zenith and Monet. Here we go with the second pass with the Fatip. And just to talk a little bit about these products a little more. Man, this is a great pairing. If you get this angle just right, it's not much blade feel, and it's just very nice. So to give the Fatip spiel, they're cheap razors. Maybe a better word would be to say they're inexpensive. They're inexpensive razors that are brass on the inside. So even if the plating on the outside wears away, which has happened with some of their models over the years, even if that plating wears away, let me get a little more lather here. You'll still be left with brass underneath, right? And that's a great material that lasts lifetimes if you take care of it. And again, the quality control would seem to have gotten better. Over recent years. And so if you're looking for a razor and you don't have a lot of money to spend, I would recommend one of these. This razor is a great example, especially the newer version, of course, where just because it's open comb doesn't mean that it's aggressive. This is a pretty, again, not this one, but the newer one is pretty mild, even with the open comb. There are some Mercure razors that are like that as well, so don't let the open comb scare you. I chose this open comb today just because I knew I was going to be going through lots of hair, and in theory it does do a better job at kind of moving that in between the teeth compared to a safety bar where you maybe get stuck. So again, this soap is not exactly dialed in, but it's still super slick and definitely getting the job done. Looks like I got one little nick right there. I think I felt that when I was going across. Okay, let's come back to a final third pass in just a second. Third pass with the Zenith and Monet. Third and final pass with the Fatip. Try not to irritate this spot right here too badly. So yeah, I definitely managed to kill the lather today, but it's still pretty functional. Just very slick, and the razor is definitely gliding nicely. This razor handle is a little slippery. Not too bad, but you can kind of feel it. Let's get a little more. So I'm not talking too much, just really focusing with this razor, which is definitely blade forward, but not outrageous. this spot right here can be tricky with some aggressive razors, and this one's no exception. Let's just feel around, see what we did. Man, I think we are good. Just a couple, we got one here and one here, but considering the circumstances, I think that went pretty well actually. So I'm gonna do my final rinse, and then I'll come back and talk to you over post-shave in just a moment. Okay, so we just rinsed and toweled off, and all things considered, I am very pleased with this result. Went in totally blind with all these products, using them together, and came out relatively unscathed. Just a few little weepers that I think will close up momentarily. Let's use some alcohol in our splash here, and this very well may burn quite seriously considering what I just did, but we'll see. So this is Saponificio Varesino Cubebe, and this is a dupe of some scent, and I don't really know what the notes are. It's kind of, yeah, it smells like a sweet cologne to me, which would make sense. I've never tried the SV soap before, but I just received a sample of Desert Vetiver from a friend, and so perhaps I'll have to review that shortly on the channel. And yeah, it's funny, I still feel the same way about this scent as I did when I first reviewed it a few weeks ago. It reminds me of some cologne that people used to wear when I was a kid in South Florida. You know, people are a little more bold and like outspoken there, and they're a little bit more, very much about the individual there. And this is a scent that's a little, I don't know if I'd want to smell like this all the time, but I can see where people down there might. And yeah, so it still reminds me of that, which is kind of funny. Okay, so let's do a final rundown. We use the Cubebe Splash. We use the Fatip version 1 Piccolo with the open comb. Very easy to control razor, I would say, despite its aggression. It wasn't really too bad. And I liked the Bolzano blade in there. We used Monet from Abbate and Mantia. Not its best showing. If you want to see a slightly better lather, maybe go watch my other video where I talked about this soap. But a gorgeous scent, and it still basically got the job done. And then the Zenith BO3-826 boar brush. So that's going to do it for us today. Thank you all so much. Hope you enjoyed the removal of the mustache. And let me know if you have any comments. Feel free to leave those below. And we'll see you again next time, all right? This has been HG Shaves. Thank you all so much. Goodbye.